It is 2:11 a.m. The apartment is dark except for the thin blue stripe of streetlight leaking through the blinds. You are half awake, one hand under the blanket, and there it is again. Soft nails on the floor, a little thump at the side of the bed, then the familiar wet, cold weight of a toy dropped gently against your ankle. Your dog is standing there in the dark, circling your mattress, settling against your leg, taking up exactly 80% of the space as if the bed was designed for one human and one deeply committed shadow. And the obvious explanation is easy. They want to play. They are bored. They want fetch. They want attention. But behavioral neuroscience tells a completely different story. What your dog is doing right now is one of the most complex expressions of social attachment in the animal world. And most owners have no idea. Let's start with the simple theory, because it sounds reasonable. A toy is a toy. A dog drops it near you. You throw it, and everyone has fun. End of story. But here's the problem. If it were only about motion, your dog would have other options. A radiator is warmer. A sunny patch on the floor is easier. A chew toy by themselves is simpler. A nap is always available. So why do they keep choosing you? Because for many dogs, this is not just play. It is social communication. It is a bid for shared attention. And in some cases, it looks very much like an offering behavior. This matters to me, so I am placing it in your world. In research on dogs, alternating gaze between a human and an object like a toy is described as a common communicative signal when dogs want access to something desirable, and broader reviews of dog-related activities show that play and close interaction are strongly tied to positive emotion and bonding. So why do they keep choosing you? Because you are not just the person near the toy. You are the reason the toy becomes meaningful. The first clue comes from attachment research. In a landmark study published in 2019, scientists including Kristen Vitale and colleagues at Oregon State University and related research institutions adapted the classic strange situation test for companion dogs. What they found was extraordinary. 61% of the dogs were classified as securely attached, while 39% were insecure, proportions strikingly similar to attachment patterns seen in human toddlers. The same line of research showed that dogs use their owners as a safe haven under stress, which is exactly the language attachment psychologists use for a bond that says, "I can calm down because you are here." That is the deeper meaning of the toy in your hand at 2 a.m. When your dog brings you a toy, they are not just asking for a game. They are performing the single most fundamental behavior in attachment psychology, seeking connection from a trusted figure. And this is where it gets deep. Human attachment research has long shown that closeness is not just about comfort, but regulation. Being near the right individual changes how stress is experienced. Dogs appear to do something remarkably similar with their people. But here's where it gets really interesting. Because this isn't just psychology, it's chemistry. In the famous 2015 science study led by Miho Nagasawa and Takefumi Kikusui of Azabu University, dogs that gazed longer at their owners triggered increases in urinary oxytocin in their owners, and the effect did not appear in wolves the same way. The study also showed a feedback loop. Oxytocin encouraged more gazing, which in turn encouraged more oxytocin. That is not random affection. That is biology reinforcing bond behavior. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone, but in plain language it is more like the brain's "we are safe together" chemical. It rises during trust, touch, care, and social closeness. In dog-human interaction, that chemistry shows up again and again. More oxytocin, lower cortisol, higher calm, and stronger social engagement. A later University of Helsinki line of work also found that oxytocin can make dogs more interested in smiling human faces and less threatened by angry ones, which shows how deeply this hormone is tied to human-directed social attention. Now think about what happens over 10 quiet minutes of a toy ritual at bedtime. Your dog approaches, places the toy down, looks up at you, waits, watches your face, and stands close enough to feel your movement. That tiny sequence can activate a loop of attention, reassurance, and bonding. It is a chemical conversation, not just a game. Wolves do not show this same human-centered pattern in the same way, which is part of why researchers keep pointing back to domestication and coevolution. So when did this start? The answer is basically from the beginning. Dogs and humans have been living in a shared emotional and ecological story for more than 15,000 years, back into the pre-agriculture, pre-writing world. Archaeological evidence from a 14,000-year-old grave near Bonn, discussed by Leiden University, suggests a dog was cared for through a long illness and buried with humans, which is one of the earliest strong signs that these animals were not just useful. They were cherished. They were family. Your dog is not doing something unusual. They are doing something that has been selected for across 15 millennia, using closeness, attention, and offering behavior to strengthen a bond with a human partner. Now, I want to tell you about a study that nobody talks about because the finding seems impossible at first. In a Mayo Clinic study published in 2017, adults sleeping with a single dog in the bedroom maintained pretty good sleep efficiency overall, around 81%, but sleep was worse when the dog was on the bed than simply in the room. And a 2021 scoping review found a familiar paradox across bed-sharing research. People often report better subjective comfort even when objective sleep measures are not as good. In other words, the body may lose a little efficiency while the mind gains safety. How is that possible? Because safety is not always the same thing as silence. Sometimes the nervous system prefers the presence of the bonded animal over perfect sleep mechanics. Maybe your dog is not ruining your night. Maybe they are restoring something older than sleep architecture, the feeling that someone is there. And then there is the synchronization work. In 2024, researchers from the University of Jyväskylä, the University of Helsinki, and Åbo University measured heart rate variability, activity, and relationship variables in dog owner dyads. They found that the dogs and owners' HRV correlated during free interaction, while activity synchronized during stroking and play. Even more striking, the HRV relationship disappeared when dogs were randomized with non-owners, which means the effect was not just two beings in the same room. It was a bonded pair. The dog's overall HRV explained about 20% of the variance in the owner's HRV. That is not just companionship. That is nervous system coordination. This only happens within bonded pairs. So when your dog brings you a toy and lingers beside your bed, you are not watching a random habit. You are watching a synchronized social system at work. The gesture itself is part invitation, part ritual, part reassurance. And the nervous system behind it is real. There is one last thing I need to tell you, and it might be the most important part of this video. If your dog has been bringing you toys for months or years, and one day they stop, do not brush it off. Dogs are creatures of habit. When a deeply established behavior disappears overnight, there is always a reason. It could be an environmental change, like a new person, a new pet, or a shift in schedule. It could be pain, sometimes showing up before obvious limping or stiffness. And in older dogs, changes in social behavior can also appear with canine cognitive dysfunction, a condition commonly reported in aging dogs, with estimates in the literature ranging roughly from 14% to 35% in dogs over 8 years old. Your dog does not have language. Behavior is the only way they can tell you something is wrong. So the next time you wake up at 3 a.m. with exactly 6 inches of mattress and 80 pounds of dog pressed against your legs, Remember what is actually happening. 15,000 years of evolution, a neurochemical loop that no other species shares with us in quite the same way. An attachment system built to mirror the bond between parent and child. An animal offering you something they value, not because they are bored, but because they are bonded, all pointed at one thing. Sleeping beside you, or dropping that toy at your feet, is the safest place in their world. And honestly, the science suggests it might be doing something for you too. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to Mindful Pause and drop a comment below. I want to know where your dog sleeps tonight. And if you want to understand why your dog stares at you with the toy still in their mouth, that is the next video. And the science behind it is even stranger than you'd expect.